Hello Guppy lovers! Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is we're gonna do aquarium raid. Yes! But before we start, please make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified for my upcoming videos. Let's start! Oh, I'm still here. Let's start. Oh, I'm here! Oh my god! But I need Tanner. I need my friend to explain this to me. Okay? Alright, he's not here at the house. So let me get him. Oh, you're here! Yes! Where did you go?
I was at the grocery store. How did I get here?
Oh, well, you know, I have powers. I have magic. But guys, this is Tanner. This is my friend, and he owns this tank with his boyfriend. Actually, this is not the only tank. They have more. Okay, I have more to show you guys. Why don't you tell us how did you get started into fish keeping or fish hobby?
So when I was a kid, I always enjoyed going to like all the pet stores and looking at all the fish and all the different animals. And I've always really loved animals. So then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start my own fish tank. And then so I started my own fish tank in Wyoming, and then I had that, and then I moved here to California and didn't have any animals or any fish. And then I met Kim, and then I saw all of her tubs, and I was like, I want to start getting into fish again. And then so we went and bought all the stuff to set it up, and then we set up my tank, and then Louis ended up wanting to get fish for himself, so then he ended up starting to get discus and then his arowana.
Yeah. And Louis is your boyfriend, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up here with this.
With this big fish tank.
This 85 gallon.
Yeah. So this tank here is basically it's Louis' collection, correct?
Yes. This is all his babies.
Is his babies?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the size of this tank?
It's 85 gallons, so it's 36 inches tall, 30 inches wide, and then 18 inches deep.
Oh wow! So it's heavy and it's really thick too.
Yeah.
I can see it here. I can feel it here. It's really thick.
The tank alone is like 80 pounds, 80 to 85 pounds.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
I can even lift 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Yes, that's heavy. Okay, so let me get this microphone because you guys might not be able to hear him. And then what type of aquarium stand did you use?
So we ended up going to Home Depot and just buying a Hearts. It's pretty much a storage stand, so it's pretty much for like industrial storage, like inside shops and stuff, for like car parts, or it's pretty much used for anything that's like heavy.
Okay, so this is not just for aquarium.
No.
It's for basically anything,
anything
right?
that you need to store on shelves that's heavy. Any heavy stuff that you need to store on shelves.
Okay. So tell us about the fishes here. Since this is Louis' collection, do you know about this fish, or do you know any of this fish?
All I know is these are discus, and then there's angelfish in here. Mm-hmm. There's 2 koi angel, 1 yellow angel, and then there's 2 yo-yo loaches, and then 4 different types of plecos, and then also a silver arowana. Yeah, that's everything.
That's everything.
Yep.
I remember one time I posted this on my Instagram, and there are people that have concern, especially like putting together the discus and the arowana in the same tank. Tell us about that.
So a lot of people don't understand that arowanas, they're aggressive, but they're not going to eat anything that they can't fit in their mouth. So these fish are way too big for him to eat, and they've been in this tank together for, I don't know, like 8 months.
So they basically grew up together,
so they grew
right?
up together.
Because I remember this arowana was...
It was small. It was only maybe 5 inches, 6 inches when we got it.
Yeah. So
and then the discus were also a little smaller too. They were all around like the size of like the little one.
So they pretty much know each other.
Yeah. So they grew up together.
But
so they're used to each other.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a good thing, right? I mean, when they grow up together, it seems like they're one big family.
Yeah, and I also think it helped that the arowana eats pellets and not live food. So he's not used to eating things that are moving. So he's always eating like the pellets.
Did you guys train him that way?
Yeah.
Or
so we actually bought him, and the guy told us like, oh, he's already on pellets. So
okay.
we don't have to feed him live food. And it's a lot cheaper that way too.
Yeah. So, are you into aggressive fish like this?
No. Not really. I would much rather have like guppies or
Like me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like guppies, mollies. So we're into friendly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're still really interesting to watch.
There is, and I mean they are, and then
Yeah.
they're so pretty.
And it's interesting to watch and take care of them. They're a lot of work.
Yes, a lot of
A
work.
lot of
So
work.
tell us about that. Like, what do you do like in your weekly or monthly, or how do you clean this?
So I usually clean it at least once every like 2 weeks, because it has a really big filter for it. Because we have a 550 gallon per hour filter,
Wow.
and then so it keeps it
It's
fairly
like it's
clean.
more than times two,
Yeah.
right?
And then so it doing the water changes like every 2 weeks, I've noticed that it doesn't have any effect on them, and they're fine for the 2 weeks that they're in here without any water change. And then if I could change something about the tank though, I would get rid of that black thing and the sponge filter.
Okay.
Because it's just an eyesore. Because other than that, the tank looks really pretty,
Yeah.
but that just makes it stick out.
So basically, this is just an extra.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just something that Louis wanted to get just to see if it would help.
Yeah.
But there's already a 550 gallon an hour filter in here.
Okay. So there's is the plant live, right? Is this
Yes, these are live
Okay, it's a
plants.
live plant.
Yeah. And then they're planted down here in this base, and they have there's plant food in there to keep it alive. And then it started out like with a giant bush, and then it ended up growing this one stem, and then all the leaves died around, and then it just started growing a bunch of smaller ones.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I noticed in some discus aquarium they have like, you know, like sand or gravel. So how come you guys didn't put any of that? Is that like by choice, or
yeah, it was by
or
choice.
like what's the benefits for it?
So we did it by choice just because it's easier to clean without having the gravel or the sand in there. Because as you can see, like they use the restroom a lot.
Yeah.
And it
No, I do
doesn't-
the same thing too.
So
I don't
it's
put
just
any of
easier
this.
to like, because it all stinks to the bottom, and then all you have to do is suck up that, and then do like maybe a 25% water change, and then just fill it back up.
Yeah, and it's visible for
Yeah.
you to see the poop and
Because if there's rocks or something, you have to go through there and vacuum the gravel and the sand, and you're not getting everything.
yes,
But
yes.
so it just makes it a lot easier to do this.
Okay, so this the discus, arowana, angelfish, loaches, or the pleco, do they need a specific temperature?
So everything in here is warm-bodied. So the only thing that is not like the only thing that's would prefer like the cooler water is the like plecos. So the plecos would prefer like a little cooler because this tank is, I think it's 80 degrees. 80. Yeah,
80.
it's 80 degrees. No, it's 85 degrees. Yeah, so we have this tank at
Wow.
85.
That's
But
hot.
everything in here has been fine. Everything's super
Yeah,
active.
they actually look very, very healthy.
And then obviously the plecos are hiding right now because it's
Yes.
bright and they like to go out at night.
I see you guys have a lot of plecos here.
Yes, there's
What kind?
So there's
What
a
kind are
royal
they?
pleco, there's a golden nugget pleco, there's a regular pleco, and then this is, I think it's a bushy nose. So there's a bushy nose back there, and then there's a orange tipped pleco.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of different types.
So any recommendation for filtration, you know, for this type of aquarium? It's big, so, and then it's a lot of fish in one tank.
I would recommend for like, especially for like a giant tank like this, I would do a canister filter, because that's probably the easiest way to keep it clean. Because the hang on the back filter, like, they're nice, but it's not gonna get all the way down, and they're not meant for that much like water
Yeah.
to like filter.
And
'Cause,
how
like,
often do you clean the canister?
So the canister filter we've only cleaned one time since we got it,
Wow.
and that was just because it stopped working and because it got clogged because there was too much in it.
And then after that, you
And
guys.
then after that, we haven't had to clean it since.
Okay.
So-
Wow, that's a good thing.
And so I guess the good bacteria is all eating everything that's going in there.
So it's like a couple of months,
Yeah.
right? Wow, that's really good. And then one more thing before we move on to another tank. Can you show us the food that you guys use for this tank?
So this one is the Tetra Color. So this is what the discus, this is what everything eats in here. So the discus, the plecos, the loaches, they all eat this, and then sometimes the arowana will eat this too if it's floating at the top. He'll just
Okay.
try and go after it. But this helps with their color, and it's high in protein, and it gives them like all the benefits that they need. And then on occasion we do feed them some like frozen bloodworms, but we try to keep away from the bloodworms because they can get parasites from that.
Yeah.
So we stick with beef heart most of the time, but they
Oh,
have
I heard that's really, really good.
So they
yeah.
they eat beef heart like maybe once a month. They get some beef heart, but that's just like a treat for them. It's like their snack.
Yes.
And then the arowana, he has it's chiclet pellets. So he used to eat a specific like arowana food, and then we ran out of it, and then we couldn't find it for a while, so we ended up just trying to see if this would work and if he would eat it. And he's been fine. He's already been on this for like 4 weeks now, 3 weeks. So, and he's eating it, and he's happy and healthy.
Yeah.
And he's growing.
He's growing.
He's getting really big.
Yes, guys. I don't know if it's a he or she, but
Yeah.
it's really big.
And then this is a growth formula too, so it helps with like growing your fish bigger.
All right. Well, thank you, Tanner, for telling us this. So let's move on to the next tank. Ready? Oh! Yes, we're here. Second tank. So this is Tanner's collection. So I'm sure you can tell us a lot because this is your babies.
Yeah. So some of these are Louis too. So
Yeah,
some of the guppies are
some
Louis.
guppies. Okay.
But he gave them to me, so he said that I can have all these, so I took them in. And then as you can see, there's a ton of babies in here.
Yeah, and they're not eating the babies.
Yeah. I just gave up on trying to catch them because they gave birth.
But you used to have a lot of plants in here,
there
right?
used to be so this is the guppy grass. There used to be a lot more of that.
So they were
And then-
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so they were hiding. Had a lot of places to hide. So and then now whenever they give birth, they go to this like plant in the back right here, the green one, and then they just sit back there and give birth, and then when they're done, they just swim back out.
Oh, and you also have mollies in here.
Yeah, there
like a
is-
lyre tail.
Yeah, there's a black lyre tail, and then the
What
white.
do you call that again? Oh my god,
Balloon?
I forgot. Balloon molly. Oh my goodness, how could I forget that? I have balloon mollies.
Yeah,
So they're not eating the babies.
nope. They're on occasion they'll go and chase them, but then they just give up after the
They
baby
give
swims
up.
away. They'll chase it for like a second and then stop.
Yes, and I noticed you have big females.
Yes.
You have a lot of huge female guppies. What do you feed them?
So I actually feed them. I don't. Here, let me see if I can. It's somewhere around here. So I feed them the micro pellets. So this is supposed to be for just like tropical fish. So, but it's kind of expensive because for this little bag, it's like
it's
$6 or $7.
What's the name of this? What's the brand? It's Hickory, right? This is Hickory.
Semi-floating. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Hickory.
Yeah.
Hickory. Because it's usually
it's
at
right
the top
here.
right there, but on the side. Yeah, Hickory's expensive.
They are, but how long does it take you to finish this?
So this bag I've had since I started my tubs outside.
So that was last year.
Yeah, so almost like a year, and there's a lot.
Almost a year.
Almost.
Oh my god.
And they have a lot in here because it doesn't take that much to feed them.
Yes.
And I only feed them once a day because they don't need to be, because I don't want to have the tank just like overfed and then a bunch of algae grow or an ammonia spike or anything. So then I just
Yeah. So there's so many strains for guppies.
yeah.
Do you think you can name them, or do you know all of them? In here, just in
A
here.
lot of these are mutt guppies. So a lot of these, so like this one's a mutt guppy.
like a standard guppy,
Yeah,
right?
this one's just like a standard guppy.
Assorted guppies.
Yeah, this one's just like a standard. I mean, it is a little fancy, but I don't know the strain of that. Would you happen to know? Because it's like yellow and black, and then that's it.
Yeah. No.
It's hard to tell.
Me too. Like I'm bad with standard guppies because I mean, that's the thing though. Like when it comes to assorted or standard guppies, it's hard to tell their strain.
See, and then this is the
navy blue.
The navy blue. I don't. Would you consider that a Dumbo ear?
Yes, it's a Dumbo ear.
It's a Dumbo ear.
It's a
navy
Dumbo
blue.
ear.
And then
Navy
this
blue.
The big plain one, that's just a normal Inler. That's an Inler female.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's not a guppy.
She's huge.
Yeah. So it's not a guppy. I mean, it's a type of guppy technically.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in the same family, but she is the. I don't even know where her mate is. Her mate's somewhere in here. I don't see it. But then I also have. So this is a red albino, the one down here.
Yeah.
And then she just gave birth a few weeks ago. And then a lot of these are just a assorted guppy. They're not like one strain. They're just mixed.
How often do you feed them?
So I feed them once a day, depending on like the last time they ate. Cause sometimes I'll feed them twice a day. Like if I'm like, okay, like I can give them a little more food, especially since there's so many babies in here. So
Yeah.
I try to feed them a little more than my adults that are outside.
Yeah.
So I try to feed them at least twice a day, but not all the time. It's maybe like every other day that I feed them twice a day.
Yeah.
And then some of these are actually the babies that I had that were growing in my tubs outside. So like the white one. So this,
Oh yeah, I remember the white
blue
one.
molly,
Yeah.
The orange.
That's basically the first baby, right?
Yeah, this was from my first batch of
Yeah.
babies. And then that orange molly over there, that was also one of my babies.
Oh wow.
And then
She's pretty.
the red guppy that's there, the mixed.
Okay, and then what filtration do you use in this tank?
So for this tank, I just have 2 sponge filters. So there's a little tiny one. That one I think is 10 gallons, and then this one is 60 gallon.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then the size of the tank?
The tank is 20 gallons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a little bit too much a sponge filter,
Probably.
or it's perfect because it's a lot of fish?
I mean, at first I was thinking like that's a lot of sponge filter, and sponge filters, in my opinion, they're not the prettiest looking. So, but
they do the job.
Yeah, they do the job, and they're cheap. And then also I have babies in here, so I don't want to have them sucked up into like one of those
Yeah,
the hanging filters.
That's true. So this is a perfect
Yeah.
filtration.
And everything seems super happy and active, and it helps. And then the babies just sit there and feed off the sponge filter,
Okay.
and then they hang out and they have places to hide because they can hide behind them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if I ever wanted to, I could always plant.
And then I'm curious about your gravel because I normally see white or black or brown sand or like like a brown sand, but it looks like a pot.
Yeah. So this is actually it's clay.
Oh,
so it's a clay.
yeah.
So this
That's
is
what I'm looking clay.
It's a clay based like mineral packed what do they call that?
Gravel.
Substrate.
Yeah.
So, and it's supposed to be like super good for like fish tanks. I didn't want to have like the gravel in here to begin with, but then I was like, oh, then we could put like live plants in it.
Yeah.
And then it'll be perfect for the babies. But I need to get more plants for this tank, definitely.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them that were planted, they ended up like coming out and then floating to the top.
Yeah.
As you can see.
And then, what's the temperature?
So the temperature of this tank, I believe, is 82 degrees. Yeah, I think it's...
Is that where you set it up?
It's like 83, 84. Or
Oh, okay.
Like, it's
wow.
It's anywhere from like 82 to 86.
Okay.
In between there.
But does it change a lot since here in San Diego? Right now here in San Diego, we're actually in winter season, and it gets really cold. Sometimes that's a problem to me too. Like, I keep adjusting my heater because of that, because of the weather.
Yeah, so with it being inside, like in the room stays pretty warm, so I haven't had to worry about this tank like ever getting like too cold and then them being like affected by it. I mean, the tank probably fluctuates in temperature like a little bit, maybe like 4 degrees, 3 or 4 degrees.
Yeah.
But then that's not enough for them to like go into shock or anything. So as you can see, they're all happy and they're giving birth, so that obviously means that the temperature is fine.
And they look really, really happy. Like if you see a lot of movements in here, I mean, I can see a lot of movements in here, and then they look healthy. The fins, I didn't see any clamping. So that's a really, really good thing. It means you really have a good setup in here.
Yeah, and then I think what I'm gonna do actually is once it gets warmer, I'm gonna catch all the babies and then put them outside
Outside.
in the tubs outside.
Okay, all right. Well, if you guys have any questions, just comment down below. If you guys have any concerns, just let us know. Okay, and then we're gonna move to the next tank. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Oh, you're
Hi, Stella.
she's here.
The kumka.
How did you get here?
How did you get here?
I didn't do any
She's
magic. Yes, this is Stella, guys. Okay, so this is very small tank. This is a nano tank.
Yes, this is a nano tank from Petco? PetSmart? One of those two. One of the pets.
One of the pet store. Okay, so why this is separated from the rest of the guppies?
So these are separated from the rest of the guppies because this is just endlers. Well, all the males in here are endlers. So Louis ended up wanting to have endlers for some reason, and I'm like,
just the male.
Yeah, just
and
the
then
male.
you guys are crossbreeding.
And then
with
we're
the regular
crossbreeding them with regular guppies. So my babies that I had in the tank that grew, I ended up putting 3 females in here, or at least I thought they were females. And then 2 of them ended up turning into males, and then only one.
Only one
is a female.
Oh my god! So it's like her against 5 male.
And then there's 2 shrimp in here as well.
Okay, what type? Like
there's one orange or yellow. I can't really tell with the light.
Yeah.
But
do you know what type of endler are in here?
I don't remember because
I need to get you guys close.
I don't think we asked. I don't think we asked whenever we. I don't think we asked whenever we got them.
Okay. Maybe we just need to kneel.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there's.
So what's the story behind this? Like, how come you guys, got a small tank and decided to put endlers in here?
So we actually went to the store to, like, PetSmart. I think I'm pretty sure it was PetSmart.
Yeah.
And then we got we saw that 2 of these tanks. So there was this one, and then I think a 3-gallon one. And then, so there was this one, and then I think it was a 5-gallon one. I think this one's 3. This one's either 3 or 5. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
I
then,
can't even tell. Like, what's the gallon?
It's hard to tell. But we saw the 2 of both of the tanks sitting on the shelf being displayed, and they both had betas in them. And we saw the lights, and then the lights changed.
I rember that day. Yeah, I was with you guys that day.
And then so we saw that the lights, you can change it, and then we saw the betas, and then Louis like, oh, I wanted to get this and put fish in it. At first we didn't know what we were gonna put in it, and then he ended up buying it, and then he's like, I'm gonna put endlers in it. And then so we went and got endlers like 2 days later because we had to let it like set, and then we put a heater in there, and then put plants, and then substrate, and then now everything's just hanging out in there, living their life.
And then do they have babies already?
They have not had babies, but I'm pretty sure she's pregnant because she's
she's
pretty
pregnant.
big.
Okay.
So we don't know what their babies are gonna look like.
And this is the newer tank, right?
Yeah, this was the newest tank that we got. Cause it was kind of a like out of the blue, just let's get a tank, like because we were just looking around and then went and bought a tank. But it's very interesting to watch, and it's a good nightlight.
Okay, so now you have endlers. Which one do you like better, endlers or guppy?
I would rather prefer guppies.
Guppy.
Especially because the female guppies even have color, like they have color in them. But
then the endler doesn't.
Endler females, they're ugly. They have no color. They're just straight like brown.
Yeah, or like a transparent
balloons.
plain.
Yeah.
No color at all. Okay, so let's move on to the last tank, guys. We have one more. Okay, I can't do magic this time. I'm getting old. All right. Okay, so we're here at the last tank. Okay, so let's proceed to this last tank. Okay, so what do you have in here?
So this was also another spontaneous act of fish buying. So he saw this tank, and then he's like, oh, I really like this tank. And then so he ended up just buying it. And then, so I think this tank is...
Are you into goldfish too?
They're easier to take care of, but I would rather prefer
Guppy.
Guppy and like any live bearer.
Well, I like goldfish.
Yeah.
It's actually one of my first fish that I breed.
It's just that they can get really expensive.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
Because goldfish are so well known, so they can get expensive, especially the fancy ones, like that.
Oh yeah.
So,
do you use any heater in here?
so there's no heater in this one, so it's just set for whatever the temperature is.
Okay.
Like in the room.
That's a good thing,
Yeah.
huh? So that at least you don't have to worry about like heating up the tank.
Yeah, and then it helps with it. I mean, they're goldfish; they don't need a heater.
Do you know the type of goldfish are here?
I don't know. There's Rancho, and then Ryukin, and then
Oranda.
Aranda. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
The big ones.
Oh, yeah,
Oranda,
the big one in
and
the
the
back.
trio.
and then
Yeah.
my favorite one would probably be the trio. So
Yeah.
I don't really like the bubble eye, but then this trio right here, the one with the black and orange and the white.
Yeah.
That's
the
probably
trio
my favorite
Oranda.
one. My favorite one's out of here.
It's actually really popular right now.
Yeah.
The trio. So in here, what type of filtration do you use in here?
So this is a hang on the back filter. So it has I think it's a Fluvo. I'm pretty
is that
sure.
good for like 60 gallon or?
Yeah, so this is up, I think it's up to 100 gallon for the filter.
For the filter,
Yeah,
and
so
then
the-
this tank is.
And then this tank is
Is this 30
no
or
this is a-
40?
No, I think it's 50. I think it's 50 gallon.
This is 50 gallon.
Yeah, 'cause
Wow.
look how it goes super deep.
Oh yeah.
It's super deep because this tank is the same depth as this tank up here, the one with the discus.
The one with it. Okay.
Yeah, so they're the same depth. So I think this is 50 gallon. And then so he decided to buy all these goldfish and then set this tank up, and then this
Yes.
is just below all the discus.
So, to all the fishes that you guys have, which one is the hardest to take care?
The hardest ones to take care of would probably be, I don't know, they're all pretty simple because the water changes are pretty simple.
Pretty easy, huh?
'Cause-
yeah, like once you know everything.
Yeah, once you have like at first it was like hard to just get into like the routine of like how to clean everything, because everything has to be separated. So you have to use different like vacuum, like different like gravel vacs for each tank because you don't want to contaminate all the different tanks.
Yeah.
Especially with those being warm water and then this being just like at room temperature. So then, but after you get all that figured out, it's really easy to take care of because all I have to do is, and it helps a lot that I have a door, so I could just put the hose in here, siphon the water out, and then just fill it up with a hose.
A hose.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't have to worry about having the temperature like checked for this. But then it also, another easy thing is that I just connect the hose that I do the water changes with. I just connect it to the shower, and then
Yeah.
I put it in here, and then I can match the temperature of the warm tank with
Okay.
the temperature
This is a
of,
very easy setup.
and then I just sit there and wait for it to fill up, and then after it's filled, I just turn off the
Yeah.
hose and then switch to the next tank. So I usually drain both tanks at the same time. So everything I drain, and then I fill up.
Yeah.
Usually I fill up the discus first, then the guppies next, and then
And this is weekly,
these are-
correct?
Maybe every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everything in here is every 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So tell us about here. I mean, you guys have so much stuff in here.
Oh yeah, so
What products did you guys use in here?
this is all of the medicine. So there's medicine, there's Prime, there's some extra fish food.
Which one is the best? Like, would you recommend to especially like the beginners?
Oh, okay. So it depends on like the fish. So for these, I only put Prime and then some stress coat, because stress coat helps just, especially adding them and then like changing the one. So adding new fish and then changing the water, I add Prime and then stress coat, and then the stress coat helps like remove the chlorine, and then it also helps with it relaxes the fish. It helps
Yeah.
them like settle down. It's pretty much like it's kind of like a drug for a fish to like relax.
But how often do you use salt?
The only time I would put salt is if I see like fish starting to get sick. So if I see them starting to get sick, then I'll add some salt in. And then that's usually all I do, especially for the discus. If I notice that like they have some like a fungus or something starting to grow on them, I just throw some salt in there, and then like a week later they're fine.
They're fine.
And then all these goldfish actually just recently had ick, and then we treated it with the Ick X and malachite blue, and then
okay. Which one is that?
Here's the Ick X. So that helps remove, and you can use that for all fish. So it's safe for marine fish as well as freshwater fish.
And this is what you
and then
use
that's
also,
the prime for the conditioning the water. And then there's a bunch of other like Paragard. It helps with their it's like if they have like parasites or anything on the outside of their skin. And then there's just a bunch of different types of food, and then there's like some Pymafix that helps with like fungal infection, and also helps with like the rotting of like fins and stuff. So if there's like tail rot or something, I can add that into it. But I haven't really had to use that much medicine. They seem to be pretty healthy, especially after these got ick. All the ick went away within a week. And then now they're fine.
Before I end this video, because we're gonna start shooting the part 2, I have one more questions, okay? Because since Tanner and Louie, they have tanks and tubs, which one would you prefer? Because I mean, you know me. I mean, you saw my collections. I use tubs a lot compared to fish tank.
So I like the tubs because I mean they're big and they're a lot cheaper than having like an aquarium. But it's also nice to have an aquarium because you can see the whole fish. You're not just looking down at their like back. You can actually see all their colors from the side, and you can see them swimming like up and down. And with the tubs, you see them swim just like side to side. But it's still like really nice to have a tub just because it kind of reminds you of like looking down at a pond and just seeing a bunch of fish in the pond. But so I don't know. It just depends.
It depends, huh? Because for me, like, I use tubs because I breed a lot.
Yeah, and you have a lot of fish.
And it really, really works, compared to having, like, tanks, then have to worry with the algae, with all that stuff.
And you have to worry about all the money for the tanks, too. Because tanks are a lot more expensive.
More expensive.
Because you can go buy a $10 tub or, like, a $90 tank.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. So we're gonna start shooting the part 2. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Okay, and don't forget, please be kind and love your fishes. And I'll see you guys on my next vlog. Bye. Oh shit! What was that? What was that?
It's the lightning feature.
What the heck?
Yeah.
What do you mean lightning feature?
So the light flickers like if there was like lightning outside. Yeah.
How would they know? Do you guys know?
They do know. I don't know if they know.
That's weird.
It's for like rainy season.
Wow. Okay. What's the remote for?
So this has all the different controls for the different settings of the light.
Which light? Like this tank?
The top light, yeah. So
okay.
This is max. Here, wait. That's max. So that's as bright as it gets.
That's really nice.
And then it has 24 hours, so you can set it to where it automatically turns on and off.
Wow.
And then this is for if it's cloudy outside. This is the lightning feature, as you just saw.
What the heck?
And then this is for sunny. So that's supposed to be like if it's like sunny outside.
This is sunny?
That's what they said.
It looks dark.
And then this is for the moon. So that's if it's full moon.
Full moon.
And then here's white, here's red, here's green, and then here's blue. And then I can go from blue, and then I can turn the green light up. So then I can change the...
It's like they're having a party.
So now it's like a teal color. And then I could do red, and then add some blue into it. And then now there's purple.
Wow,
and
so
then I can
fancy.
Do green,
what?
And then add some red into it.
It's a fancy light.
And then it turns yellow.
How much is that light?
$100.
$100?
Yeah.
Wow. Look, the arowana gets scared.
He's fine. We'll put it back on. Oh, okay, there.
Okay.
We'll just leave it there.
So fancy.